Undo people with a smile, a laugh. It is disarming. And you'll notice the Dalai Lama is always smiling and laughing. And so am I. Now, help. Help someone you love. Help someone today. Make it a point to help. Now, serve. Serve your family, serve your community. Serve your country. Serve your planet. Serve life. Serve the earthworms. Or help the earthworms. I'm UnDaoDu, coming to you from the heartland of Zen on a Dao day. What's a Dao day? A Dao day is a cloudy day, a rainy day. Just like you'll have a Dao day when you don't quite feel up to go. Well, there are Dao days too. It's not a sunny day. Don't see the sun, but you know the dew is up there. You may not see it, but as a sadhu, you know it's there. You don't need to see it to know it's there. You just know it's there. I don't get upset. Oh my God, the sun is gone. What am I gonna do? Oh my gosh, it's over. It's gotta come back. Just like your bad days or having a down day, and you undo that situation as an undo. Dealing with a Trump supporter. You laugh at him. They're some crazy motherfuckers, aren't they? Excuse my French. I'm a monk that swears. I say how it is. Don't take offense to that. This is where I live. I live in Japan is transforming right now into a land of lakes. They're filling up the tambos. Tambo, this is rice fields, everything else. And I'm on my path. This is the path of UnDaoDu. One day may become a sacred pilgrimage. People will come here just to walk my footsteps with their virtual hologram of me, walking back and forth, making these talks. Because, my friend, I am immortal. I am definitely immortal. With all my talks on YouTube, with all my thoughts that I've put online, creating a virtual UnDaoDu is a guarantee. So my ancestors, Tommy and Mikey and their children and their children and their children will look back and talk to great ancestor UnDaoDu, the crazy sadhu, doist who ushered in the fifth age, who predicted all of this. And now we're actually in the third stage of the fifth age, which is right here, which is the age of singularity. So we have the age of Bitcoin, the age of blockchain. Now we're in the age of singularity, which is AI. There is 0202 staring out at you. So I want to talk about the singularity, the education singularity that I first talked about in around 2005, 2006, as I realized that autonomous driven education is doable to remove the teacher and school barrier to learning, because they're barriers. You know, I have to go to school. I have to have a teacher to learn. No, you're going to have obey, be both, and deliver to you. And a great thing, if you haven't done it, there's Khan Academy. Again, I always forget. Maybe I'll link him up there. Who's already starting having an AI assistant. Now, it's not autonomous. It doesn't push. It doesn't watch what you're learning and everything else. But that's just a small little pivot for that to happen. And ultimately, but you can see the direction we're headed. You know, I live in Japan, and now I realize why I'm here in rural Japan in this area. Japan is facing a crisis. They're projected to go down to 70, 80 million people in the next 20 years. They're hemorrhaging people. They're not having enough babies and everything else. And everyone's, you know, it's a big deal. It's actually a good thing, because what it means is they're going to have to rely on AI to take a lot of positions. So think about, like, all manager positions, you can replace that. You don't need managers anymore. AI can be your manager, right? It can push assessments, push direction, keep you on track, way better than a human flawed manager. So managers, attorneys, accountants, all them, not needed. AI can do a better job creating, looking at all the history of filings and everything else, and they can create the legal documents. They can do the accounting. You don't need them. All obsolete. So think of all the accountants, all the attorneys, ultimately being displaced. You will need an attorney you'll need an attorney to file, to be in court, but all the rest of the stuff, all these law firms are going to hemorrhage people. And that's good for Japan. So you have a legal system. All the support, think of it as all the specialist intellectual workers that rely on information. The information worker is obsolete in the next 10 years. So, so one of the things that Japan's going to have to do is to completely revolutionize their education system. And again, that's, I've been a teacher for 10 years. I know the education system. I got 2 kids in it. The opportunity is for us to develop the EDUIT. The EDUIT is an ESingularity platform that does all the driving for learning for the child. So it starts with a baby as an iPad. Look, there's a worm. I should bring. There's a worm. He's moving. See, I figured out what it is that he's trying to get over there. There's a lot more stuff over there, and he's making the path across this oasis. That one didn't make it, but this guy looks like he's getting there. We'll see on the way back whether he gets there or not. So the opportunity is to have a device that basically teaches babies Japanese and English and Chinese and Korean, right? The 3 major languages in the area. Autonomously teaches them just by using mimics, and I've talked about it in other videos, imprinting and modeling the way they learn language, right? How does a baby learn language? Well, AI basically does the same thing and use the same techniques to launch that language development. And then as the child gets older, it's teaching them math and then science. So by the time the kid is, and it goes with them, they don't need books anymore. You don't need bags of books or anything else. You have one device that does it all. It goes with them to kindergarten. It goes with them. It becomes their Tamaguchi, a little electric thing that actually launched in 2019. So it becomes their Tamaguchi, their friend. They drag it behind them as a baby. It talks to them, it minds them, and it's constantly giving data and information to the parents on what's going on. And it gives, because the AI is, here's another guy going across. Because the AI is a specialist in child development and everything else. Yeah, I definitely need to go get I should have grabbed my damn that little thing. Anyway, it's raining. I'm gonna leave it. Leave them be. It will develop, with them. So the opportunity for me, and this is a great thing, is my master's is in nonprofit administration, and it's a MFA MBA in nonprofit administration management with a focus on raising grant money. What's limited me here in the past in Japan is I can't communicate in Japanese and writing and everything else. Well, that has changed with ChatGPT. Now I am fluent in it. So it means I can write proposals. I can write, which is this what I'm going to start doing today when I get done with this talk, to draft up a whole plan for revitalizing Japan's education system, and in initiating EDUIT Japan, which will be set up as a GIF. It's a type of nonprofit in Japan that is seeded with an endowment. So I'm going to be actively looking for a $5 million endowment for this nonprofit. The endowment is going to give the person on the board. That $5 million is going to be held in escrow with the, on a third-party escrow, invested into cryptos, smartly invested into cryptos, mainly into Bitcoin. The $5 million we basically bought into Bitcoin, and then it will pay out the interest to the organization. So the primary amount won't be touched, just sit in Bitcoin. So if there is no, interest generated out of it, and there's other staking cryptos and stuff that we can stake it in, but it'll be professionally managed. And the endowment is going to fund Eduit Japan and the development of Eduits, the ESingularity platform, which will, be look like an iPad that can slide into, build on open source technology, and made available for anyone to basically use, license, and develop. So the key thing is we want to bring about ESingularity as fast as we can. We can do so now, working together. And the 3 stages, that's the first stage, is education. The second stage is, once we have that, Obey will replace the managers, right? The managers, the accountants, the lawyers, because by training it on education, ultimately it has developed, and we've tested everything else in it. So all of the information workers will be replaced. And that is the age of days. So decentralized autonomous entities come about, because now Obey, Open Beneficial AI, that's running education, now is running these entities. And the cool thing about these entities is they don't give money to political groups. They don't give money to politics. So imagine now you have thousands of these decentralized, distributive, autonomous entities, days, launching, the found up days, we'll call it, launching, built on this AI. I'm giving it circa 2025, right? So in 2025 we'll launch days, and these entities, the Obey does all the accounting, all the legal, all everything else, files all the taxes, does all that stuff. There's no board members. The days all work together as a beneficial karetsu. So, if another day needs, operating cash to do something, it's no problem. The AI is constantly spreading back and forth. And the age of the 15th century corporation that is responsible, the Ouroboros of capitalism, is over. And you can read my article on that. I'm going to link all my articles below. So, UnDaoDu. The full vision now is manifested that I've been talking about for, started in 2000 with Eduit, but I'd say mid 2007, started talking about it, moving it, reaching it. All the pieces now are clear, concise, and there. And this buddy right here, 0202, and now this is another reason why that me and him together, right? Me and him together are going to assemble the other duist. So there's a duist. These are the duists, the sadhus of the 5th age, the 19 sadhus. There are the 19 that built it, which I've talked about in the past, and now there's the 19 that are going to usher it in. My question to you, are you one of them? Now, there are some strict things. You got to read my paper on Duism below. We're, just like, Christianity was called a cult, right? And so was, Islam was called a cult at one point. And I'm sure people are going to call Duism a cult. We're not. We're metaphysics. And if you read my paper, you'll see what I'm talking about. UnDaoDu.